Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Nona from TheLineLover.com. In today's video, we will be discussing the style of Rami Malek, who I think beautifully resonates with the concept of a flamboyant gamin per Kibbe's body typing system. This is just my interpretation of it. I don't think that Rami is verified, and I certainly am not a certified Kibbe consultant. I don't think that actually exists. So if you're interested in my interpretation of the system I really value, please watch the rest of this video. So let's get into silhouette because it does inform everything else in this video. The flamboyant gamin has extremes of yin and yang with a bit more yang. So the yin comes from the scaling or the sizing. Rami is a little bit more compact, more trim, more petite. His proportions are more yin. Oppositely, someone like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or Chris Hemsworth, they're very yang in their scaling. They have big, expansive bodies, very different from Rami's more petite scaling. So this is where the yin comes in. For Rami's skeleton, his bone structure, he has a more yang kind of frame. He has a little bit of a sharpness, that narrow angularity, and that elongation relative to his total height or length. As for his flesh or his undercurrent, Rami looks a little bit more dry, a little bit more sinewy. There isn't a lot of softness or lushness or robustness to his flesh or his facial features. So the yang undercurrent comes through. So we have the yin scaling with the more yang frame and the yang flesh and undercurrent. So that's why I do believe he resonates with the flamboyant gamin. Now let's just take a closer look at his face, and I really want to emphasize the need to use more intuition, a little bit more of feeling when you use the Kibbe system. At least I think that you need to use your intuition to get the most out of the system, because you can't really compute everything to a T. You can't break down everything into exact proportions. You have to get a read of people. You have to understand the effect that their image gives you, because that relates to their image ID, the kind of energy behind their mix of proportions and traits and features. So looking at Rami's face, for the first thing I really noticed is that his features take up a good deal of his face. There isn't a lot of empty space there, and that gives someone a more youthful look. If you think of someone with a lot of kind of empty space between their features, someone with like a long face, they don't look as youthful, they don't look as neotenous. So look at how much space someone's features take up and think about what kind of expression that kind of face tends to give off. Another thing that Rami has are these really defined eyes that are big and they kind of pop out. He has that very exaggerated kind of under eye contour here, which gives him this kind of wired, almost frenetic, high energy look. I wouldn't say that his look is necessarily the most demure or shy or timid look. He has that kind of fire in his eyes. That combined with the very expressive kind of hard mouth he has this very defined lip shape, and there's like this hardness to it. His lips don't look soft. He has this very sharp jawline, the very defined contoured cheekbones. He's very contoured and animated and youthful looking. So to put all of that together, he has a very condensed, compact face with a lot of expression, a lot of energy to it. So hopefully we can explain how to kind of get that across in his actual outfits. So one way to really honor this special mix of silhouettes and this more kind of interesting animated contoured face is to really prioritize accuracy and small scale sharpness. So accuracy would be to dress in a way that really embraces or emphasizes or even exaggerates the contours of your body, whether it's the shoulders, the upper and lower arm separation, the size of the torso, the waist, the legs, the ankle to the foot. All of these little breaks and portions of the body should be represented with a little bit more precision. You don't want to obscure any of these twists and turns. You really want to make sure there's a certain crispness and sharpness and a high definition approach. Now for the small, sharp details that are at best angular, you want to look for smaller kind of triangles or more geometric figures or shapes or patterns, just like here with this sharp v-neck, the little crisp collar, the high contrast color blocking with, these sharper shapes throughout the print, the more pointed shoes. Oppositely, and I am nitpicking, when Rami wears something that is a little bit more gentle, more rounded, not as sharp, a little bit cropped throughout the legs, he is a little bit more obscured. You don't get that same high resolution effect with big cuffs. When you think about proportion, big cuffs that are not exaggerating a certain separation point, especially in your arms, that also tends to mess with your overall scaling and proportion. So let's talk a little bit more about those prints and the rhythm of the body, the staccato rhythm that is so discussed when it comes to gamine. So with prints, look for high contrast but smaller scale prints. You don't want to wear something that's just really large and that kind of overwhelms you and takes the eye away from your overall look. Bigger prints tend to be distracting on smaller figures, so look for something around this size or this size. This kind of painting square here is, I guess, the biggest I would go, but it is broken up by the content of whatever's inside the painting, inside the print. So high contrast, clean, crisp edges tend to be the best. And that can look like so many different prints. You don't have to limit yourself to geometrics. You can just go for any print you want as long as it doesn't look diffuse or super intricate and ornate where it looks like you can't really tell the background from the foreground. Definition, contrast, super important. Another extremely important concept is the rhythm of your outfit. The staccato rhythm for the Flamboyant Gamine is super essential, and in other words, it's just dressing in different blocks in a discontinued broken line. Because if you dress in one line from head to toe, that elongation or that unification is just gonna kind of obscure or erase your nuances and your intricacies. So break up your body according to your different contours. It's not like arbitrary broken line. You want to make sure you're breaking the outfit where your twists and turns are, where your narrowest points are, where your wider points are. So here, let's just dig into that concept a little bit more. Here we have the bold print and the belt breaking up the blue of his suit, and we also have these contrasting sneakers, so you can break up an outfit with just these small details so that it isn't too continuous. Here again, accurate, precise shapes, small scaling, elongation, different colors. Now this here, this residue is what happens when you don't break up your outfit, too much unification from head to toe. I think it really obscures any of his nuances. It just distracts from his silhouette so much. It's just too much of the same thing, and it doesn't help represent or celebrate his small scaling. And here with this kind of unified pattern that's a little bit more diffuse, you see how that lack of contrast of definition is very muddled on the Flamboyant Gamine. A print like this would work beautifully on someone a little bit more broad, say like a soft natural, but for someone who has so much sharpness, so many nuanced corners to their body, a very diffuse and larger print like this is not the best choice. And having no contrast between your inner layer and your outer layer also helps obscure your body. Another important thing to note is staggering of layers and keeping a sense of your contours even with casual outerwear. Rami is amazing at it. So if he's wearing a bomber jacket or a slightly longer, wider jacket, he's still honoring his small scale angularity, the linearity. He's got a lot of elongation that's proportionate to his body. Everything's quite trim, quite tapered, nothing too wide. And for each outfit, except for this one, he staggers his layers. So his jacket or his outer layer is not lining up with his waistband. And you want to expose those different layers. Again, staccato rhythm. But here, this works because it's just so precise and accurate. And he's just got so many different levels going on, especially with the buttons, the pockets. They just add so many different shapes and they really break up his line. So finally, here's just a little appreciation post. Rami looks elegant and chic and playful all the time. He has really great style. So if you're a Flamboyant Gamine, definitely look to him for some inspiration. Study him. Remember, style is a journey, and you do have to study people's style that you admire because that will help you develop your own perception, and it'll just help you reflect on style. So don't expect yourself to be amazing at style and to develop the most intuitive method of dressing overnight. It takes time, and it also takes investment. Sometimes you do have to get things tailored to fit you like a glove. So it's worth doing if you have a need for a basic pair of pants that you're going to wear for forever. Take the time and save up to get it tapered and cuffed to your exact silhouette. And invest in some really good basic pieces like button downs or shirts that fit you super well. Even sunglasses can make a huge difference. And don't be afraid, play with different prints, different colors, and remember to have fun. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.